Many times over, pet.
I love this time of year. The dickheads start popping up wherever you look.
What do you want, Mizora?
Drop the attitude and perk up your ears. You've got a new mission. Absolute's cult has gone and grabbed one of Zariel's assets. A devil, and a powerful one at that. They're locked up in the cult's fortress, Moonrise Towers, and you're getting him out. Clause Z, Section 13. Should promised soul refuse obeyance or neglect duty, the pact holder shall cast the promised into Avernus as a lemure. I'll make it simple. Will fails or refuses, and he turns to a thick blob of stink flesh and sinks to Avernus. Now, be a good boy and play fetch, pup, or you'll spend an eternity sizzling in the hells.
Mizora's words may be flippant, but they are tinged with desperation. She cannot afford for Will to fail this mission. This may be your best chance to negotiate Will out of his pact.
Oh, and what condition is that?
Your mind links with Will's, drawn in by his increasing panic.
What are you doing?
Will relaxes, and your connection fades.
Interesting. Now, why should I go letting my favorite pet off his leash? I've never seen such a fearless display of sheer idiocy. Bravo! Fine, I'll play your game. But I amend the pact once the mission's done, not before. Clause F, Section 9. Soulbinder shall bestow reward or favour only upon soul-bearer's fulfilment of related obligation. Now, to Moonrise, pet. And do mind the shadows. They've been especially hungry.
I've been thinking about the runes Cazador carved into my back. I don't know much about Infernal, but I know anything written in Devil script is going to be bad news. I'm afraid that through those ruins, somehow, Cazador might still be able to dominate me. Any excuse to get my shirt off, I see. But no, I don't think another viewing will serve any purpose. I need someone with a little more expertise. Our devilish friend, Raphael. If anyone's going to know about infernal text, he will. Well, we won't know until we ask now, will we? Unfortunately, he comes and goes in his own schedule, so we'll just have to look out for any sulphurous odors or the sound of questionable poetry. Meanwhile, I think I'll spend some time studying the art of infernal negotiations.
Shah's blessings upon you.
Rings a bell? Why? Oh, hells. You didn't pick that by hand, did you? They're deadly poisonous. Joking. They're safe. And beautiful. Thank you. I don't have anything to give you in return, I'm afraid. Well, perhaps I can come up with something later, all the same. Difficult to say. A fellow servant of the Night Singer would surely be an ally to me under most circumstances. But something doesn't add up. I'll need to see where his allegiances truly lie.
The more bullshit she pours, the more of it I'm forced to swallow. Mizora set me on fiends inside and outside the Hells. She's never ordered a rescue. Gods. She makes a mockery of everything the Blade stands for. Such an asshole. The same thought crossed my mind. I am only to hunt the infernal, the demonic, and the heartless. But nowhere was it stated that I can't help one. Either we find it, or I'm made a mindless blob clawing at demons on the front line of the blood war. And it means everything to me. I always knew what my future held, and I know I chose right. Thank you for sticking your neck out for me. I mean it. But I'm not going to celebrate till I'm actually free. I can feel Mizora scheming, plotting. She won't let me go without making a fuss. Trust me on that.
God damn it! Why did it have to be Mizora? Why did it have to be Zariel? We're supposed to risk our necks to get one of her assets? What if it's a runaway like me? Or something far worse? Look, Will's happiness is my happiness. I'd sooner see myself a Lemur than him. But it's a bad idea to play games with the devil. You never win. Not ever.
I did miss that face, you know. It's not a plan yet. More a feeling. Just an itch at the back of my mind. But I know I'm missing something. Whatever Cazador did to me, it was more than his usual sadism. It had purpose. Once I know what that purpose was, maybe a plan will present itself. But for now, I just need to scratch this itch.
Thou hast now a bosom companion. Take care that thou art not distracted on thy quest, seeking the comforts of the flesh. Recall that in time, all becomes dust and bone.
Copper for your thoughts? Like I got something back. Something I've wanted for a really long time. When I touched you, I felt like a real person. My heart was racing, but I didn't hurt you. I don't have to be afraid of myself anymore. I don't have to hold back. Not sure the world's ready for unleashed Karlach, but it's getting it anyway. Thanks to Dammon. Thanks to you. Thanks to fate. Touch! Touch everything! Touch everyone that'll let me. Shake hands, dance a waltz, maybe even kiss a face or two if I find a good candidate. The world's my funhouse. Me too, soldier. Gods, me too. For every knock we take, I feel like I get a little treat just to keep me going. Ugh, I don't want to think about that now. Misery always overstays its welcome, and joy leaves too soon. I'll cry later, but not now.
The voice of the Absolute is strong here. And getting stronger. I don't know how much longer I can resist it. But it's good to see you're making progress. You took an unexpected route here. You did a brave thing, saving those people in the grove. Not everyone would have helped.
The hurt runs deeper than he's willing to show you.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Beneath the resilient veneer, a touch of fragility. He needs comfort.
It's been a very long time since someone did that. For me. A woman by the name of Belin. We were close. It just doesn't stop. We are being bombarded by waves of telepathic energy. Wave after wave with hardly a breath between them. I almost dare not rest. Each wave a set of orders to the infected. The order for your transformation has been given many times already. Yes, but the orders are oddly erratic, as if the Absolute cannot make up its mind. I don't fully understand. In any case, the Absolute knows you carry me with you now. It wants to retrieve me. I am the only one who can resist the Absolute's influence. Hence its fear of me. Its desperation. Unfortunately, that also means it is dedicating more and more resources to my retrieval. The task ahead is monumental. But we're all that stands between victory for the Absolute and freedom for all. This is not just about you and I anymore. It has become far bigger than us. You must infiltrate Moonrise Towers, discover the secrets of the Absolute, and put an end to it. So we can finally be free. Now I must rest. And you must carry on. Do not let my efforts be in vain.
Please, be welcome. Have a drink.
Oh, my gods!
To your very good health.
Yeah. I mean, it's an honor, milady.
I will gladly drink to your health as well, Garlak. Well over a century old, and yet it hasn't lost a hint of flavor. Still not quite so sure about you, though. People tend to lose more than just flavor when illithids get their hands on them. I speak from experience. There's an air about you. Something alien. Answer me true and do not lie. The parasite is changing you, isn't it? You speak frivolously. I do not believe you grasp the cost of what we're dealing with. Look around you. Good men, good women. Stranded here, 2 feet in the grave. If we're to survive, I have no choice but to trust you. Can I? Good. Because I'll cross your heart myself if you break it. I have every reason to be cautious. I've traced people like you. People with parasites in their brains. All the way here from Baldur's Gate. The cult of the Absolute is spreading through the city. Quietly, quickly, and with unsettling deliberation. We tracked them to this ancient village, only to be faced with a man we killed and buried over a century ago. Believe me, he was well and truly dead. I locked his corpse in the Thorn Mausoleum myself. He was a Sharan once. Took to building an army of dark justiciars beneath this very village. Alongside the local druids, we made it our business to see him deposed, dead and buried. But he's returned. Not only does General Ketheric Thorn live again, it seems he is no longer mortal. He has become, in fact, invincible. We met him on the road here. commanding an army of the Absolute intent on destroying Baldur's Gate. I put an arrow through his eye myself, only to watch him pluck it out like a splinter. He healed right in front of me and chased us into the shadows. Things looked hopeless, but experience has taught me that no matter how bleak things look, there's always hope. You are that hope. Not immediately. Protected by your artifact, you can infiltrate his forces at Moonrise Towers, posing as a true soul. Find out what it is that makes him invincible, so we can strip him of his advantage. Once Getherick is without his shield, the sword, together we assault his tower and put a final end to this blight. Any cure starts with understanding the disease. Whatever magic Getherick's using to control these tadpoles, it must be at Moonrise. You're not our only secret weapon. Isobel, a faithful cleric of Selûne, and a light in the darkness. She cast the moon shield around the inn. It's the only reason we're still alive. She's upstairs in her chambers. Tell her I sent you, and she'll see you through the shadows safely.
Welcome to our humble... Wait, are you Karlach? A lot of us were in Avernus. We saw you fighting. You were so good.
Well, yeah, I guess I was. I mean, you should avoid fighting for devils if you can. But if you can't, it helps to have a good right hook.
I saw you lay out a Moor demon in 2 hits. Bam! Bam! We were all like, whoa!
Ever heard of the Blade of Frontiers, kid? If you like monster smashing, you might be a fan of his work.
Who's that?
A lovely chap. Didn't kick ass in the Blood War, but that's neither here nor there.
That's true. But he never got kidnapped by a devil either.
Huh?
Sorry, kid. Look, forget about us begrudges and bruisers. From the look of things, you've got your wits about you. A clever mind and a bit of style will take you a long way. Fight with those, and you may find you never need to use your fists at all.
In that case, want to buy a lucky ring I found?
Ha! Nice try, Shorty. Keep it up, though, and you'll be scamming with the greats in no time. Sorry, soldier, but I didn't ask for your 2 coppers. The advice I give a thief kid from the coast is between me and them.
Check it out. We've gone legitimate, and Mole put me in charge. What do you need? I'm alive, ain't I? What's not to like? I'm not supposed to mention it to anyone, but I do have something pretty special in stock. A key. What does it look like? What does it open? What treasures await behind its lock? That's for one lucky buyer to find out. Mole gave it to me and said I shouldn't let it go to just any old jackaday. I mean, maybe. I guess it is kind of old. Here. Birds of a feather.
Hiss! I say hiss!
Your years of hunting and tracking have taught you to recognize a territorial animal when you see it.
I'll allow it. Good of you to notice. For my part, I have noticed the cleric is a liar. She promised me a bit of milk. Do you see any milk, do you? Nor do I. Disgraceful. I slinked, of course. You've had enough. Now go. Quickly. Hiss.
Ah, you found your way. Good. I thought I'd scout ahead, check for any nasty surprises, of which I found a great deal. Shades, death, harpers, flaming fist, and this, of course, and the makings of an alchemist's workbench. Ingredients, too. There's a recipe I'm trying to replicate. Something that might help you. That is, if you're still going to help Wulbren and the others. In that case, you'll be very pleased to learn what I have in store for you. A new type of smoke powder. All the bang and boom of the original, but with an extra surprise. I call it the Brilliant Retort. You'll need it if you're going to survive this cursed place. You'll need it if you're going to get into Moonrise Towers and help the Deep Gnomes taken prisoner there. You'll need it if you're going to save Wulbren. They didn't get trapped. They were kidnapped. Taken against their will by those cultists. If I ever get my hands on one of them, well, with you on the job, perhaps I won't have to find out. I'll do my part according to my talents. And you, I hope, will do yours. The Brilliant Retort will aid you. Thus, I will make it. When I'm finished making it. Unless you've got access to a 300-year-old Tempusian apothecarial almanac? No. But that's for me to worry about. You do whatever it is you do. Some of us are counting on you.
Your move, Maul.
You trapped me? I didn't even want to take this one.
Kalimshan rules, dear. The first piece touched is the first piece moved.
That's garbage! No matter where the night goes, I'm gonna lose it!
Then make the sacrifice useful. Guard your Mistra, or come for my Cyric.
What's going on here?
Look who made it! For once, I saved your butt out there, didn't I? We're square now, Chief. Say, do you play lance ball by any chance? It's my first time playing.
The keen gleam in Maul's eyes reveals the lie. She knows the game well, and she wants to win.
Always laid a fine trap for you, Maul. It looks to me like his Cyric could be dethroned.
My, the Thescan double counter gambit. Vicious. Exactly what I would have done.
How's that for Kalimshan rules?
Brava. Lovely work. I see I was right to make you the offer I did. You will consider it, won't you? What a lovely specimen she is. A blushing apple begging to be plucked.
Please let me smack this creep.
The Thescan move suggestion was inspired. I had no idea you played. Don't I? Indeed. But don't you worry about Maul. It goes without saying she still has the unconditional freedom to choose the only option she has left. Now, let's talk about you. I sense there's something you want to ask me.
I do. I have a proposal for you.
A proposal? If you're hoping to taste my blood, little vampling, think again. It burns hotter than wyvern whiskey.
This is serious business. Devil. Well, a long time ago, someone carved infernal runes into my back. They're a fragment of a contract. I'd like to know what the full contract says.
Really? It's something very important to your master, but is it a love letter, a warning, or a deed of ownership? I could give you all the gory details. But of course, you'll have to do something for me first. Let me think about it and get back to you.
You'll get back to me? This is important, Devil. When?
Don't worry, I'm motivated to help you. Scars often tell such wonderful stories. I think yours might be truly exquisite. I'll see you soon.
A blushing apple begging to be plucked? Raphael's angling for the girl's soul. We should at least try. The girl's as bold as a lamb cavorting in a lion's den. But I think she's clever enough to flee before the jaws close around her neck. One way or another, she'll see there's no winning Raphael's game, and she'll walk away. Then Raphael collects another trophy, and Mole sells her independence to the hells. You've seen what happens when a bound soul reaches for freedom. I can't imagine what cruel penance Mole would pay if she were ever to resist that fell bastard.
Thought you'd be 10 yards tall the way Zevlor spoke of you. Cerith, Scout. Seems we missed one another at the Grove, but the others told me how you helped us. A pity. You pulled them from one death trap, only for me to land them in this one. Aye, and more than half the others with him. We were ambushed, out in the cursed lands. Cultists of this absolute. Zevlor froze, begged us to surrender. But they were toying with us, making examples. And we'd had enough of taking it. Those of us who cut free just kept running till we found this place. The others... maybe the cult got them. Maybe the curse. It's hard to tell. We were alone in the darkness one moment, surrounded the next. This army of the Absolute is growing and flowing towards Moonrise. There's worse than goblins on the roads now. I thought we might pass unnoticed along the fringes of this place, escape the owlbear by hiding in its shadow, so to speak. You can see exactly how well that went. Zevlor had hope. It didn't save him. A little sense will serve us better, I think. But... thanks. It was sweet of you to try.
You're all right, thank goodness. I was worried they'd got you too. I keep replaying it. Over and over in my head. They lined us up like dogs. Asherak was with the kids, telling them it was going to be all right. Maybe that's why they picked him. Told him to kneel. They took his eyes first. Then his tongue. Roland, of all people, saved us. He said he stayed in the Grove because of you. And I'm damn glad of it. Without him, well, none of us would be here. Yes. He shielded me and the kids, while his brother and sister rushed the cultists. Cal and Leah were dragged away, along with the others. Roland isn't taking it so well. None of us are, to be honest.
How do you do it? How do you keep going? Heart's Requiem, right? The hero survives a war and rebuilds her life, stronger than ever. A tale worth remembering. Especially now. You've done so much for us already. But I have to ask. The others might still be out there. If they're not dead, they're in Moonrise. And gods have mercy on anyone in that hell's pit. Thank you. If anyone can manage it, you can. Just be careful up there, all right? I can't handle anyone else dying.
Nice strategy back there. If we put our heads together, I bet you and me could make a tidy stack of coin in Baldur's Gate. But Raphael's offered me a partnership already, and it seems like a sweeter deal than throwing my lot in with you.
No, kid. No.
You aren't joking. I kind of believe him more now than I did a minute ago. Poison? Sure. You must love the taste of it. He seems to know you pretty well. Looked like he was doing a pretty good job. If I had to deal with gods and worms in my head, I'd make a deal with anyone. Look, you saved us. Not knocking that. But after you left, Zevlor lost his nerve. Gave up the fight. I won't. Now there's no grove, no coin, no one taking us to the city. I'm not letting my crew get eaten by shadows. Maybe I'll make a deal, maybe I won't. But it'll be my choice, not the devil's, and not yours.
One of the worst things about getting old. Watching kids make the same exact mistakes you made, and knowing there's absolutely nothing you can say to change their mind. Then again, Mole's a hell of a lot smarter than I was at that age. Maybe she'll figure it out. True enough. She'll go far in the city. We've just got to get her there safely.
There's another bottle of Arabellan Dry back there. Put it on the bar, then piss off and leave me alone.
Jaheira said we should serve drinks, but that we shouldn't serve drunks.
Jaheira didn't save your ragged little tail from the cultists. I did. Cute. Maybe she'll write a ballad about me. She can leave out the part where my brother and sister were dragged away screaming while I was saving the orphans. If you hadn't filled their heads with all that self-righteous heroic crap at the Grove, none of this would have happened. They're my responsibility. You go save the world. Or your own arse. Or whatever it is you do. I'll fix this.
He still won't speak. Just keeps going with the bloody song.
Nothing of use on his person?
His original writ of duty. Signed by Eltan himself. Fella must be one of the very first Flaming Fist.
He must know something. Let's not give up on him yet.
Floric.
Hells. I know that voice. Will? In Timora's name, what happened to you?
The Hells have had their vengeance, and I doubt they are done with me.
Ye gods. Fate has no shortage of troubles to burden us with. We believe the cultists have taken your father to Moonrise Towers. I don't suppose you found a way in? Isabel cleared this place, and he just appeared. We think he's staying at the inn when the curse fell, which means he's been trapped inside for a century. It beggars belief he's alive at all. Hopefully, he'll come round. Tell us something useful about getting through the shadows. Right now, he seems to have little more to him than a refrain from some song or other. Cleric of Seluna. She's got a room upstairs if you want to meet her. Just don't interrupt her while she's doing whatever it is that keeps this place shadow-free. I doubt it too, but I haven't given up hope. Unfortunately, I won't be here when he comes around. I'm heading to Baldur's Gate to seek reinforcements. The Council sent a carrier pigeon with news that the city has been dealing with absolutist attacks. The Steel Watch is holding strong. I'll request that Lord Gortash send some of them to aid in the fight against Moonrise. The curse won't harm them.
Holy shit. That's my old boss. The guy who sold me to Zariel.
Gortash, as in Enver Gortash. Last I knew, he was a minor player in city affairs.
A lot's changed since you left Baldur's Gate, Will. Gortash has gained considerable influence since then. Lord Gortash is the man responsible for the creation of the Steel Watch. It's no wonder he earned the title. The Steel Watch are the future of warfare. Gondian automatons that can be sent into battle without risking any lives, except those of our enemies. Lord Gortash had only completed work on the prototypes before Ravengard and I left for Elturel, but even they were formidable. With the Steel Watch at our backs, we can storm the tower whatever Ketheric throws at us, I'm sure of it. I'll do my best, but there's every chance I'll fall to the curse or the cult before I reach the city. Don't count on me and assume no aid is coming. Work with Jaheira. That Harper's mind is as sharp as her blade. Follow her guidance. Farewell. We'll meet again, God's willing.
So Gortash is a lord now. I'd like to clap eyes on this Steel Watch of his. You already know the story. I was Gortash's bodyguard, loyal as they come, when he made the deal with Zariel. She got a test subject for her infernal engine. I never found out what he got. This is the kind of man who gets a title. Authority. Makes me sick. No. But they always seem to get it, don't they?
Heard you're meant to be heading toward the towers. With a single word, Floric could charge the coast's most powerful force with taking back the Grand Duke. We ought to be doing just that, not babysitting this stump. And yet, orders are orders.
Flame Colour. That's your name, isn't it? Art Colour? I'm Fistula.
Nathaniel and me are climbing up a tree.
We need you, sir. One of our own's been taken, a Grand Duke. You might know something that could help us bring him back. We found him out in the shadows, just wandering. Nothing survives out there for long. Don't know how he made it, or where he came from.
This is no physical ailment. It is a spiritual malaise. The man's mind has been gripped by the Shadowfell, yet it has not broken.
Really? Could you bring him here? You'd be glad of the help, wouldn't you, sir? You hear me, don't you, sir? You might not be able to answer, but you hear me. A century locked inside a Sharan curse will do things to a man. But you're not alone, sir. We're here with you. And I'm sure you've got relations, maybe some long-lived friends even, who'll want to be seeing you. Maybe he was a musician. Oh, if you know how to get through to him, don't hesitate.
He spent a long time in the Shadowfell, a Sharan realm without colour or light. It's had a terrible effect on him.
His mind lingers in the Shadowfell, but perhaps it can be returned. We need to remind him who he is. Some Personal effects, maybe.
You notice the distinctive calluses on the man's hands, the kind only developed from decades of playing the lute.
This was in his pocket. He doesn't seem to have any reaction to it now, but he held on to it for 100 years anyway. If he does, he isn't sane.
If you're poking around this god's forsaken place, you must have someone in Moonrise too. Hope you find them.
No, still incapable. Not for you to know. Well, come close. Your mind to mine. Are you satisfied? Keep quiet, and you won't have to find out. That's up to you. All I wanted was a bit of hay, a good brushing, and a clean stall. The simple life. Is that so much to ask?
I thought it was you. Saving my skin again, I see. Never seen a shapeshifted ox before. But I'm glad you dealt with it before it dealt with us. I'm glad to see you're all right. The way here was anything but easy, eh? A makeshift Harper's Fire might not be where I hope to set up shop. But maybe I've got something you can use anyway. And if you find any interesting materials in need of working, I'm happy to help. I hesitated to mention this back in the Druid's Grove, for obvious reasons, but no one has earned my trust if not you. When Elturel was dragged into Avernus, I was drafted into a devil's smithy. It should have been awful. But infernal metal is like a wild horse. Powerful, exuberant. It'll kill you if you lack technique. I can sense some. Smell it almost. Somewhere in the area. Underground, maybe. Out there in the shadows. If you find it, bring it to me. I'll make something incredible. Some of us had it easier than others. The baker, the schoolmaster. When Elturel was swallowed up, they could do little but survive. As for me, I won't say I enjoyed my time there, but it was certainly instructional.
Absolutely. Rare to get your hands on this stuff. Well done keeping it to hand.
There you are. And be careful who you show that to. It might draw the wrong kind of attention.
Strange fellow, that one. You sure made a mess of him.
Please, I just want to be alone. Gone? Cultists. It was so dark. I didn't realize until the children started screaming. They rounded us up. Cut us up. Said they were taking whoever could still walk to Moonrise Towers. I managed to get away. But my love, Dennis. Martin Dor, Roshan. How couldn't he be? If they didn't kill him when we ran, they probably will once they get to Moonrise. I just wish I could have said goodbye. Not unless you can bring him back. Can you? It's hard to imagine him making it after everything that happened. But if you find him, it would mean the world to me.
You wish to speak? He is? Then I must see him. Insensible or not, he knows something. I will go to see him at once. Join me when you can.
Daniel and me are... climbing up a tree.
It's true then. He's met Daniel. There's no other way he'd know that name. This is just what we needed. Well done. We need to wake him. He must know something about where to find Daniel. If he was able to escape the Shadowfell, then it mustn't have managed to consume his spirit. Well, not all of it anyway. We need to unlock whatever's left of him, inside his head. There must be something to trigger him. A word, a memory, an item. We just need to find it. Without Daniel, no. And I don't know how I can find him without speaking to this man. I don't deserve you, my friend.
I didn't realize I had an audience. The true soul who's going to save us all. I'm Isabel. Pleased to meet you. We've been waiting, hoping against hope, for someone like you. Free from the Absolute's influence, yet able to walk among cultists. It's almost too good to be true. But I'd be a poor cleric indeed not to avail of a blessing when I see one. Let me guess. Jaheira's sent you to beg a protection spell off her favorite cleric.
It hurts.
Perfect. It'll make you immune to the lesser effects of the Shadow Curse, which will get you closer to the towers. But there are places it won't help. Places where the curse is darker, stronger. The cultists are able to traverse even the deepest shadows, though. I don't know how. The Harpers are trying to figure it out.
Selûnite magic. Dark Lady, forgive me.
Good nose. Like a nasty little terrier. Ketheric is a frightening man. But you have something he doesn't. Allies worth having. While you're busy in the towers, I'll be sure to... Wait. Do you hear that? Something's wrong.
Hello, Isabel.
Marcus, is that you? What's happened to you?
I've been blessed. You can be too. Come with me, and you can hear all about it from Ketheric himself.
He's a flaming fist. Or was. Came with the others when we created this haven.
And I thank you for your hospitality. True soul, my instructions are clear. Take the girl to Ketherick, alive.
What's going on? If you have something to say, say it.
Pathetic. The Absolute sees all. Your treachery will be punished.
The Absolute. Of course. You can't believe them, Marcus. Ketherick will never give you whatever it is you've been promised.
He already has. Time to go, Isabel.
Moon Maiden, guide my hand.
Isabel, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Marcus has been with us since the start. They've been tracking us this whole time. And that was no random attack. You were the target, Isabel. They know how important you are. But they don't know about you. Ketherick will strike again. We need you to strike first. Discover the source of his invulnerability. Make him mortal so we can make him bleed. Good luck.
We're in more danger than I knew. If something happens to me, everyone in this inn is dead. Like that. Why does a man like him do anything? Power, spite, some kind of twisted personal morality. I can understand why he'd want me dead. Without me keeping the curse at bay, everyone in this inn, everyone intent on killing him, is dead too. As for why he'd want to take me alive, I don't know. And I don't want to find out. Now that we have you, I hope I won't have to. No mercy. For Ketherick will have none on you. End this. On with you. Unless you want to come back to a gaggle of shadow-cursed harpers. Go on, then. It belongs to the goddess Shah. According to the harpers, it fell here when they defeated Ketherick. The one who tried to have me kidnapped. I suppose they didn't defeat him quite hard enough. Right place, right time. When a cleric of Selûne stumbles into a Sharan shadow, she's bound to set it to rights. At any cost. I could say the same. But perhaps we should save the trivia till we're on the other side of this thing. Promise not to die, and we'll celebrate with our life stories. Moon and shadow, light and dark, divine sisters ever at war. And this place has become one more battlefield. Sometimes life forces us to choose sides. Luckily, sometimes the choice is obvious.
Mole would do the same for any of us. You know it.
But how do we get into Moonrise? We can't fight those shadow things.
We could. I beat up those harpies, and they're way scarier than shadows.
You know what Mole would hate more than anything? Bad things happening to us. You've seen what's out there. We wouldn't stand a chance.
But it's our job to bring Mole back.
Look at him. He's a proper adventurer. And if we got hurt, Mole would be really mad at us.
Fine. But you gotta understand, Mole is family. Bring her back, please.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
To water deep born, to moonrise cold. Trapped shadow mastiffs, repels them with flame.
The lights might fend them off, but those mastiffs are still lurking about.
Spell. Continual flame.
Continual flame. An unquenchable light. Oh, costs a queen's crown worth of ruby dust to summon.
Destroy torches. Unslaked hunger. Unquenched thirst.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
God damn it all! I can do nothing right! Not a damn thing! I was looking for Cal and Leah. What else? Instead, I found myself cornered by shadow fiends and in need of rescue. From you, of all bloody people. Or not hard enough. I've failed Cal and Leah again. Be on your way. I'll return to Last Light. I know when I'm outmatched.
That's far enough.
His thoughts invade your own, probing for purchase. Your parasite purrs in recognition.
Ah, one blessed like myself. What news, true soul? Who better to suss out his like?
You'll find Zrel in the audience chamber, true soul. She'll be wanting to hear from you.
Let's hope this Zrel likes what we have to say.
Praise the Absolute.
A moment, true soul. You use a spoon to stir the soup, Barnabas. Forget the axe, my darling. Now, how can I help you? I've shown Barnabas a kinder way. A kinder name is only fitting. That is the gift the Absolute gave me when I stood before her. To rewrite the lives of her faithful. Make them believe there's something better. I have. It is one thing to hear her voice. Quite another to feel the power she can grant. Observe. Barnabas, sweetie, come show what a good boy you are. What would you like him to do? Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Barnabas?
You feel her will surge outwards and envelop the creature, inexorable as the tide.
No, Barnabas! We talked about this.
Like rope drawn taut beneath the blade, the connection simply snaps.
Now, Barnabas, darling. No!
All trace of restraint is gone. Barnabas has tasted blood and wants more. As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
These are the stalking grounds of Steelclaw, furless one. Tread lightly. Fortunately for you, the slithering vermin I hunt has my attention. For now.
Focus. Dedication. Utmost vigilance.
I braved lapping waters and leaking ships to find this prey. I butchered many, and will butcher many more. But this one I toy with. I slice, I tear, and when the time is right, I will bite its head off and bathe in its innards! Lies, it merely pretends. But I'm a patient hunter. I will wait for it to stir, and then I will strike. Now I must return to my prey. It has been too long since it felt the bite of fear.
Araj Oblordra, trader in blood and the sanguineous arts. It is a pleasure to stand before a true soul, and your pale companion. I'd like to offer my services, if you're willing. I trade in blood, and the potions that can be wrung from it. I'm more than happy to make you one, if you'd honor me with your blood. With one drop, I can brew a rather potent potion for you. The rest, I keep for myself. No idea, but it will be unique to you. Your blood essence and the Absolute's blessing intertwined. We can learn exactly what that means together, Research, naturally. A little experimentation, perhaps. I have an innate curiosity for all things sanguine. Just a little prick and it's all over. Close your eyes. There we are. All of your very best traits in a bottle. Use it well. Although perhaps there's one more thing we could discuss. Your friend. He's a vampire, no? Or one of their spawn, at least.
Oh, don't worry. We're all friends under the Absolute. I won't bite.
Oh, I'd prefer if you did. I assume he belongs to you? I'm sure he really believes that. How utterly adorable. Do you have a name, Spawn?
Astarion, but hold on.
Good. Now, Astarion. I've dreamt of being bitten by a vampire since I was a young girl.
I'm sorry, you want to be bitten?
To feel your life's blood slipping away. To dance on the edge between life and death. Yes, I want it. I'll even compensate you. A potion of legendary power that forever increases the strength of the one who consumes it. It's not for sale, but it's yours if you bite me.
I will have to decline.
Excuse me? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're squandering it.
I gave you my answer.
Can't you talk some sense into your obstinate charge? How very disappointing.
Hush! Meat sounds above. Here. No! Meg only small. This huge. In walls above. Maybe whole tower. You find meat? You share.
Don't mind Meg and her meat sounds. It's just her brain slopping around in her skull.
You'd find better lodgings out in the war camp, True Soul. I know we're all one under the Absolute, but you do not want to bunk with an ogre.
Ah, a new face come to bask in the light of the Absolute. How can I be of service, True Soul?
Of course.
Just before some godless lunatic purged the place of every innocent soul. A pity neither of us saw what happened. They were a little more frothing at the mouth than faithful, true enough. Here, though, look around. All manner of beasties united against the enemies of the Absolute. Quite a god to bring them all together, and quite a fool who draw their ire. All who pass through here find their way to the Absolute, one way or another. How painful the path is, well, that's up to them. But look at me preaching, and when I'm only here to serve. Anything to trade, true soul?
I'm afraid you missed the ship, True Soul. But there'll be another along soon enough. We're already stacking the cargo. Baldur's Gate. The army marches overland. But we sent some friends ahead to smooth the way. Nothing of note. Just supplies for the battle ahead. I've already checked it twice over.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Right you are, I suppose. Check away.
Stand clear of the cargo. Respectfully, True Soul. They're not to be opened until they reach the city. The Absolute smiles on them that follow orders. And I don't plan on being a guard for long, True Soul. Thank you.
We did as we was told, General. Followed every order.
The facts suggest otherwise. You were ordered to retrieve the artifact. You failed to do so.
Us? No, it was Minthara. She got the orders. She...
Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling the room. Your tadpole squirms, urging you to obey.
You failed to retrieve the artifact. You failed to protect your true soul. You do not deserve to live.
Mercy, General! Please!
General Thorm?
Let our newest arrival speak. You have seen what these creatures are capable of, and you have seen their inadequacies, isn't that so? What is your judgment?
You know I'm loyal! Tell him!
Enough! True Soul, tell the General how the goblins served our cause.
Thank you! I'm glad someone noticed.
I'm sure they were very enthusiastic. But zeal without efficacy is for children, not servants. We are too close to the ending and the new beginning. I can coddle failure no longer. Kill them, quickly.
What? No!
You creaking old bag of shit!
I'm so sorry, my lord. She's an unbeliever outside my control.
Try again.
No! No!
Dispose of the rest as you see fit. Or better yet, put that true soul to use. You have far more important matters to attend to. Or have you forgotten?
Of course not, my lord. Thank you. You heard the General. The goblins are yours. Deal with them however you wish. They are yours. You can release them, kill them, or feed them to each other for all I care. Just deal with them. Here in the seat of the Absolute's power, your authority over them is complete. They will obey any command. Report to me upstairs when you're done.
Please! You gotta help me! For old time's sake! Oh, crap! You're gonna enjoy this, ain't ya?
Well, Flo didn't tell a lie. She said you'd find me, and here you are. Karlach, isn't it?
Now there's a name I'd hope never to hear again. What was Flo doing here?
Didn't think to quiz her about her business.
Florenta the Garotta. A Cambion I knew back in Avernus. She was the closest thing I had to a friend. That said, she would have choked the life out of me if I ever turned my back on her. The fact that she knows where I am, where I might be going, doesn't exactly delight me. Nothing would surprise me. Maybe she wants to live up to her name and wrap a cord round my neck. Or maybe she just wants to say hello. I wouldn't have given her the time of day, but even I needed a laugh once in a while. What can I say? The bitch had good jokes.
Enough chatter. Your friend gave me 3 soul coins, said I could sell them if I wanted. But if I kept them for you, she'd consider it a favor owed.
Soul coins, huh? Those could come in handy.
Sure. But she did have a condition. For every coin you take, you've got to hear the story of the soul trapped inside.
There you have it. Flo came all this way just to try to make me feel like shit. Clever use of her time. Memorized a bunch of sad stories on her behalf, did you?
Didn't need to. Your Flo did some devil woo-woo and stuck 'em in my head. Couldn't forget now if I wanted to. Do you want the coins or not? First coin's got the soul of a woman named Maveri. She was born to a cruel mother, and a violent father, and 3 evil brothers, all named Baldur. She never knew a day of love in all her life. When she was a girl of 15, she sold her soul to Tiamat in exchange for someone who would love her unconditionally. She got what she asked for. A fellow named Clint, destined to be her soulmate. Struck by a cart and died a few moments after clapping eyes on our Maveri. Poor guy. The scud of her soul is yours now.
Thanks, I guess.
We're just getting started. This one has got the soul of a man named Frakes. Lived in a village near Neverwinter. Hit hard by the worst hunger in 1,000 years. Frakes called out for help. Prayed for his children to have meat to eat. Zariel answered. Made old Frakes grow flesh upon flesh after flesh. His wee ones had all the meat they could stomach.
He should have known. Better to die 1,000 deaths than let Zariel into your life.
Karlach's the one set to consume his soul, I hear. Last one's got the soul of a little boy named Ungir. 8 years old. He liked playing in the sun with his friends. That's all I know.
That's all?
That's all. Oh, and this slip of scratch.
Well, thanks, Flo. Hearing a bunch of desperate horror has ruined my day, which I suppose was the point.
You got 3 soul coins after the bargain, didn't you? I'd quit whinging if I were you. I did my part. That means our business is done. Unless you've got actual gold to hand.
General Thorm's prayers and preparations must not be disturbed. The rooftop is off limits to everyone.
Even you, Disciples Rel?
Everyone. Keep watch and ensure that nobody passes. Excellent timing, true soul. The goblins. Tell me how they suffered. No, better yet, show me.
Her mind enters yours abruptly, flickering across your memories in a blaze of excitement. Tongues of psychic flame lap at the memory of the goblins dying by your hand.
I see you like to handle underlings physically. So do I. Your confidence is delicious. I can see why the Absolute might be hungry to dig deeper into that mind of yours. I certainly am.
She parts the folds of your mind again, touching your wants and hopes, tasting them. Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration. She is searching for proof of your faith. There is a tremor of shared ecstasy as she finds a mirror to her own desire.
Perfect. You crave what all true souls should, to be touched by the Absolute. I have already been blessed to stand in her presence. It was bliss. She gave me everything I wanted. To take without asking, to feel without doubting, and to kill without consequence. In a word, freedom. I choose to serve, and I'm glad to. Your words are dangerously close to heresy, true soul. As you should be. And you have an opportunity to impress General Thorm. I have a mission for you. There is a relic that General Thorm requires. He sent his most trusted advisor, disciple Balthazar, to retrieve it. The relic is beneath the Thorm family mausoleum. That is where you will find Balthazar. But we have lost contact with him. Go there, aid Balthazar if you can, and bring the relic home. Death would not silence Balthazar for long. But dead or alive, he is lost. Whatever has become of him, it is the relic that matters. It is something that General Thorm desires, and that he has ordered us to retrieve. That is all you need to know.
She's suddenly nervous, on edge. Talking about the relic makes her anxious.
I am in awe of the power the relic must hold to be of such importance. General Thorm will not leave Moonrise without it. And I accompanied him. It was destroyed shortly after he left Moonrise. Hardly a surprise. We're protected here, but outside the shadows are hungry. Fine. Talk to the Bugbear Quartermaster. Tell him he's to share my secret stash with you. The shadows around the mausoleum are deep and hungry. You'll need a moon lantern to survive them. Take one from Balthazar's chambers. But don't pry. The last person who snooped into his secrets lost their head. I believe he uses it as a chamber pot.
More writings on Orpheus, the so-called Prince of the Comet. The Prince of the Comet, Part 3. The histories tell us that Commander Voss, Gestil Kithrak, pierced Prince Orpheus clean through with his sword of silver, that his flesh was torn and fed to the great red dragon Ephelaman. Vlaakith's faithful roar out this tale, but beneath the roars, we hear whispers carrying truth and prophecy. The Prince of the Comet is not dead. The Prince of the Comet will come again. The Prince of the Comet will liberate us from Vlaakith's tyranny. Praise be to Mother Gith, Queen of the One Sky. Praise be to your son, Orpheus, the true heir, Prince of the Comet. This is more than a fable. It's an affront to the undying Queen Vlaakith. Gith's son died to Voss's blade. Orpheus is no more. Tiamat's emissary. It was he who carried word that Mother Gith had negotiated the gift of the dragons, and that Vlaakith I would preside as Queen of the Githyanki. If Element remains the Queen's consort to this day, as endless as the empire he now serves. It is not just improbable, it is impossible. Kithrak Voss and his red dragon slayed the fell prince. You could no more resurrect him than you could glue together the pile of ashes he became. My Vash taught that the silver bells of Vlaakith's court still ring out before every hunt in celebration of the prince's defeat. As a child, I longed to hear them for myself, and sing in praises to the deathless queen and her Githraki.
Carved into the bench's rotted surface are strange, half-faded sigils. A magic circle of some kind, thick with darkness and decay.
A ritual circle. And a complex one at that. I've seen such a construction before in the writings of the Weave Pasha Raven, though his vision was not so tainted. It's inert, if that's what you mean. But it still reeks of the Shadow Weave, and its polluting magic will continue to escape for as long as it lies abandoned here. The sigils are written in a curious mix of tongues. Ancient Kalashite, Netherese, something else I can't quite make out. If I'm reading it correctly, it was used in the creation of moon lanterns. The discarded pixie corpses might still contain enough essence. And with one of the broken lantern casements... Yes, I think I'll be able to craft one more lantern. And with a slight modification of the casting gesture, it might be able to wield the shadows instead of repelling them. Though, Mistra's eyes may be upon me, and she'd forbid me dabbling with such magic. She'd want it destroyed. Wasted, arguably.
Forget what Mistra wants. Think about yourself, and what Lady Shah's power could do for you, Gale. Make the lantern. Spread her will.
Some room, then, if you please.
It doesn't take much. The sigils fade, the circle's tainted magic dissolving harmlessly into the ether.
Not bad for a wizard who slept through his Kalashite lessons, eh? Did you feel that? I wasn't surrounded on all sides by the darkness of the Shadow Curse lands. I'd think it was Mistra herself brushing against my skin. That's Mistra's power for you. Where there's even a trace of magic, she will be there to bring it to life. There's clearly some magic in you if you were able to sense her presence. But I think I felt something stronger. She's left some tiny part of herself to watch over me, I think. A boon to help us reach the heart of the Absolute in one piece. Strange, though, that she would reward me for such a service now. She's hardly been forthcoming on that front since my banishment. Perhaps I'm overthinking things. A blessing's a blessing, and this one should come in most useful.
Stand, soldier. These are the General's private quarters. Wait.
Something in your scent is familiar. Oh, the General has led many soldiers, and your form is by far the sloppiest. Just be about your task then, whatever it is.
You want to help? The gnomes couple cells down are up to something, and we're in.
I can't read bloody minds. Go on, before someone sees.
Your conversation has been cut short. These prisoners are for Disciple Balthazar's attention only. Your reasoning is hard to argue with. You're free to speak to the prisoners.
You ordered that guard about as if you were the Absolute herself. What do you want with us, exactly? Huh. And why would you be so inclined? Those Spitfires? Well, they certainly gave the guards a run for their money. And they'd be a help in the escape.
I reckon you and I were meant to meet. I'm Wilburn.
All that matters is how we're gonna get out. Us and the Tieflings both. An iron hand leaves no one behind. We need tools, that head case of a warden robbed ours, but anything that breaks rock will do. Even if it's not iron hand quality. Whatever you find, throw it through the bars. But for the love of Gerdel, make sure a guard doesn't see you, or we're both done for.
You spark of the familiar. Do I know you, true soul? Perhaps not. Your face is rather bland. Regardless, know this. I am the warden. The prisoners are my charges, and I answer to Disciple Balthazar himself. Stay on my good side.
Your mind swirls with information about the prison. The small levers behind the warden's desk open every cell, while the larger one triggers the alarm. And interesting items confiscated from prisoners lie above the warden's office, just up the ladder.
If you are going to stare, kindly do it elsewhere. As I said, you are free to roam where you wish, but do not speak to the prisoners. He sounds important, and I'm afraid the mere dregs are the only ones left in my care. Anyone who refutes the Absolute is an enemy of mine, true soul. You would do well to remember that. Indeed. But all are kept out of reach and under constant surveillance in the office above. Prison security is my highest priority. My, they are letting all sorts become a true soul these days. He is chief advisor to General Ketherick, and one of the Absolute's favored. His necromancy is second only to the General's. It is an honor to serve him. A pity you're already failing, then. My face might be bland, but yours? It is now carved into my memory forever.
Your feet fly fast, my friend.
Any luck with those tools? Blessed Gerdel, I thought I'd never see it again. Thank you. The plan is to wait for a quiet moment, then bust out the back wall. We'll grab the Tieflings along the way. We'll need them if it comes to a fight. You, however, are the clincher. Once we move, keep the patrols busy. If the bastards spot us, all of bloody Moonrise will come down on us. We'll move once it's quiet. Until then, be ready. Boat's good to go. All that's left is to ship off. My plan for now is to hide out on the water. Unless you have a better idea. Safe? That's no small claim in these parts. Lead the damn way.